Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. How are you all doing? My name is Amanda Ellis, and a very warm welcome to my channel. So today, what we're going to be doing is marking the 27th, I can't believe I'm even saying that, the 27th year anniversary of Princess Diana's death. Princess Diana is somebody who I have channeled a number of times. I will link the playlist below. In fact, she is the soul, the energy that encouraged me to start channeling in the way that I do now. And haven't been in her energy for a little while, but I really wanted to honour her today. This video will be going up on the 31st of August 2024, and what we're going to be doing is bringing her beautiful energy in, more than anything for you to reacquaint yourself with it, quite how soft, gentle and beautiful it was and still is, because of course, even though she's passed a spirit, her energy is quintessentially the same. So we're going to be doing that. We're also going to be, in the second half of this video, doing a visualization or meditation, because she definitely wants me to take you into an English country garden, and we will do that via a new aura spray that we've created for this 27th year anniversary. I will show that to you now, just so we can look forward to that. This is called Queen of Hearts, England's Rose, Memories and Remembrance. So Tracy has created this beautiful spray for us. It contains Cotswold lavender. Tracy went to a lavender farm to buy this particular lavender oil, so it's very pure, very fresh, and it also has rosemary and vanilla in it, and it's really quite something. So we're going to be using this to take us into that English country garden in a little while. I'll timestamp it below so you can revisit it again if you want to. Also, this spray will be going on sale tomorrow on the 31st of August. I suspect it will sell out quite quickly. We will remake it, or Tracy will remake it and her team, for as many of you that want it as you want it. So those are the practicalities out of the way, bar one, before we get going. I also just want to say, and Diana's quite cool with this and thinks it's pretty hilarious, but where I live today, there is an air show, and it actually carries on for a few days, and it's always around the time of Diana's anniversary. So it's either a case of not doing a video at all, or having a video where we might get some interesting intervention from aircraft noise, probably at particularly appropriate moments, I think. But anyway, it is what it is. Hope it doesn't disturb you too much. Let's just enjoy a moment together in this mad, crazy world to soften into Diana's energy once again, enjoy her company, and see what she wishes to chat to us about. And then she will be with us when we go into this beautiful English country garden, and that will be a moment of healing, a moment of remembrance. It might very well be an opportunity for you to ask to not just be with Diana, but to meet somebody maybe who's passed on that you miss. We'll see how it develops, okay? I'd just like to say also at the outset that I've got very few notes in front of me. I've literally got about 4 or 5 lines. But I will tell you, there's a couple of things that have just happened before I pressed record, as they always do. The first is an animal sign that Diana is with us. And this particular animal pretty much sums up her energy, I think. The gentleness and the grace, and also the feminine energy, that divine feminine energy. And I have got well, I'll just show you basically. This is what came onto my screensaver just before I came to record. And it looks like a herd of deer. And it's a new, I haven't done that, it's just come on randomly. Never had it before, may never have it again, but it's a, whatever you call a flock of deer. I have seen deer stampeding in the wild before, and it is quite a majestic sight. And actually the only time I did ever see it was shortly after a workshop that I'd done, spiritual workshop. And it really was just a sign to me that it was a blessing more than anything. It felt like a blessing. So number one, it feels as though Diana, via the energy of the deer, is bringing us this blessing into our life and into our world right now, which doesn't feel very gentle, doesn't feel very hospitable to animals, of which we are also sentient beings, where softer qualities are appreciated. But she's saying they should be, and they always were and will be again. So to hang on to that gentleness, basically, of spirit. So the deer was the first sign. If you've watched all my videos with her before, and indeed any other channeling that I do, I often will give you a song. And I said to Diana, okay, give us a song. And I just randomly scrolled and hit play. And what came up was just so perfect, really. It's a 1980s singer, so she was of that era. So it would have been somebody I suspect she probably met. She says she certainly liked him, Paul Young. But it's the song choice more than anything. It's a song by Paul Young called Love of the Common People. And straight away I was taken into the energy of the fact that Diana was called the Queen of Hearts. She was the people's princess. And it was far removed from the ivory towers, actually, that she often found herself in terms of castles and palaces. She was at her best when she was amongst ordinary people, everyday people like you and me. And she still has that essence and wants to be there for the everyday man and woman, basically. So I'm not going to read all the lyrics to this song. You can go and listen to it if you don't know it, and I'll link it below. But I will just read 2 verses because it feels as though she's coming through saying, I see the suffering, I see the hardship, I see the difficulty that many people are having around the world. And unusually, she's actually taking me to, she's shown me specific countries. Now, Diana is for the whole world. She was a global phenomenon and still is a global energy here to help us heal and offer blessings and grace, etc. But I'm being drawn particularly to Canada. And that's really weird because I wasn't about to say Canada. That just came out of my mouth. Canada feels very Commonwealth based, actually. I'm also being drawn to Australia. I'm then being shown America, obviously UK, but yeah, other countries as well. I'm now seeing Africa, India. I mean, we could go on and on and on, but definitely it's as though she's showing me herself with a pair of glasses on, which aren't actually glasses. They're more like, I don't know, how do we even describe it? They're just like a visor is what she's saying. And through the visor, it's as though there is this vision where she can see everything, including very strong peripheral vision. So she's able to see where all the places in the world are where there is suffering, and is just very aware of it, basically. So back to the verses of this song. It says, living on free food tickets, water in the milk from a hole in the roof where the rain came through, what can you do? Tears from your little sister, crying because she doesn't have a dress without a patch for the party to go, but you know she'll get by, because she's living in the love of the common people, smiles from the heart of a family man. Daddy's going to buy you a dream to cling to. Mama's going to love you just as much as she can. And she can. Living on a dream ain't easy, but the closer the knit, the tighter the fit, and the chills stay away. because we take them in stride for family pride. You know that faith is your foundation with a whole lot of love and a warm conversation. But don't forget to pray. It's making it strong where you belong. And we're living in the love of the common people. There's something here, and I've honestly, I've got chills as I'm talking to you. I'm going total goosebumps all over, about the power of community is what she's talking about. The power of community and the power of coming together, and the power of noticing more than anything where there is difficulty. And if you are in a position to help, do so. But it's also the power of the family. The power of the family, which includes the human family. She's saying we're all part of that one human family. And we have forgotten that. And my eyes are just being drawn back to this, to these deer. It's as though the animal kingdom is better, she is saying, in many ways. Or not better. There are lessons to be learnt with regards to how they look after their young, protect each other, stay close to each other, and these are her words coming through, the defragmentation of society and family and community is the crux of many ills in our world right now. So she is happy to be a beacon that helps to remind us of these powerful principles of community and family and coming together and being there for each other. And you can call on her, is what she's saying, but she's definitely just feeling the need from the people. She says, I can hear their cry. I can hear their cries. And now I also have the energy of Quan Yin with her as well. And I've never felt Quan Yin's energy with Diana before, but it makes sense. Quan Yin is the goddess of mercy and compassion, and hears the cries of the children. So it feels as though Diana and Quan Yin working together at the moment to help ease the suffering on planet Earth. And she says no suffering is either too big or too small to bring to the table, to what she's calling the Godhead, to raise up, to ask for help, to let go of pride that thinks that, and this is a very British phrase she's using, that is like, you know, I've got it. You know, it's like, it's okay, I've got it. I can deal with it. And she's saying many people can't deal with it and don't know where to turn. And that the resources within the towns, the cities, is not there where it once was. And so there has to be a evolution of understanding, coming together, but also reaching out to spirit. There is a vast army, she's saying, of helpers in the spiritual kingdom to turn to get you through the day. Whatever it is in your day that is difficult, whatever chapter in your life is playing out that you're finding hard. But she's saying the human race right now, with regards to where we are in the world, we acknowledge it is hard. We know it is hard. And she's saying you don't have to suffer in silence, though. You don't just have to put up with it. You can ask for our help to ease the waters, to create flow, to build bridges, to bring together that which is broken, that can still be salvaged, that is worthwhile and is not redundant. None of you are redundant, she says. There are many people who feel redundant, and this isn't just redundant in the sense of not having a job, although she's saying that is valid, of course, as well. But this sense of redundance, being left behind by the pace of life, by the transition into the new world that many don't understand, that many fear. It's as though not being able to keep up with the pace, feeling redundant. She says, you are not. You are a valuable member of the human race, and you all need each other. You've forgotten that you all need each other. She's coming through today, if you can't already tell, with a very, it's a very introspective, it's quite a deep energy. And I really pick up as well, it was particularly linked into this song, which I was quite taken away with in one ways, because, oh yeah, Paul Young, 1980s icon, yeah, Diana would choose him. But then when I really felt into the words, beyond the tune and the rhyme and the dance, the words, there's quite a political energy here, you know, for want of a better word. And she's saying that as a member of the royal family, of course, and this is true to this day, you're not allowed to really be able to have a political opinion. Now, she left the royal family, of course, before she died, and was becoming more political. And I'm being shown now the landmines and campaigning for the removal of landmines. And I'm sure we've talked about this before, haven't we, Dana, that she got herself into trouble for that because it wasn't, she was saying it wasn't welcomed in some quarters, that I was reminding people of the dirty mess that's left behind after peace has been restored. War may be over, but the mess of war and the stain of war remains for centuries, thousands of years, unless it is transmuted and healed and, of course, cleared with regards to something like landmines. So I am feeling this energy from her today, and it's not about linking into a particular political party in terms of having all the answers. There's just this feeling of, I was going to say anger, but it's not anger. It's more like a sense of disappointment with regards to what she sees when she looks down in terms of where we are. I mean, with regards to her country, where she came from, absolutely. I'm hearing the word despair, but she says, do not lose hope. Do not lose hope. England will bloom again. The UK will rise again. All countries will rise again. But many are going through a moment of profound rebirth. But it's interesting, I'm also hearing sackcloth and ashes, which is a phrase which usually applies that, and this is to do with collective consciousness, sackcloth and ashes, being made to feel unworthy. There's a feeling of unworthiness coming up from the people, she says, and needing to get back that sense of strength and power and self-belief. And hope. So that's the first message that comes through, linked into that song, okay? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to use the spray, and I'll see just what she wants to talk about today, and we'll take it from there. I am also going to use a pack of cards which link into the Avalonian energy, because I've been doing a lot of work with regards to King Arthur, Return of the Knights, talked about Prince William, carrying the King Arthur energy. And I'm interested also in how Diana fits into all of this. I think I'm going to start with this, actually. So I'm going to ask the question and then let her speak through me. So the question I have, Diana, or the area I'm interested in exploring with you, is Althorp, your final resting place. I nearly visited there last week, but I just couldn't make it. And I believe it's closed actually on the day of the anniversary of her death anyway, so it's only open for a few months a year. Althorp is the stately home that she obviously grew up in. Her brother still lives in. It's where she's buried. And she's buried on an island in the middle of this lake. And of course, it leads to thinking about the Lady of the Lake. So I want to ask you about this, and I'd just like to see what you have to say. So I'm going to spray the spray, firstly, just to help me tune into her energy, so I get it as right as I can. So let's just first welcome her energy in. Okay. So the most bizarre thing, but I have to say what I get shown. So I'm taken to the lake, I'm taken to the island, but I'm taken to the fact that she is, she's put it this way, she's certainly not, you know, when I say she's not lying in the ground, I don't mean she's not there. I just mean, well, she's saying, no, I'm not there. And what she means by that is it's like this energy of understanding that death is not final. So she's there at the island when she chooses to be, is what she says. And she says, I often come to visit there, visit my final resting place, visit my family home, visit my brother, visit the peace and beauty of this estate. But and whether this actually exists or not, I don't know. But I'm being shown something like I don't know really what you call it. It's like a gazebo, you know, like it's like a chair, but it's got like a lattice archway over it and then a chair in it, okay? And this might be an energetic chair, I don't know, but I'm seeing her there and she's knitting. I know that sounds weird, but she's knitting. And she's got this white... It's what I don't know what it is she's knitting. It's like a white shawl. I mean, I don't know whether there's going to be a new baby coming into the family or something. And I don't feel this is necessarily her son's. It feels as though it might be a cousin or a niece or, you know, that next tier of family, as it were, not in terms of importance, she says, but it's just not, it doesn't feel like it's immediate family. It feels as though it's cousins, nieces, nephews, that type of, that type of layer of the family, as it were. But I'm seeing her knitting something and it feels like it's for a child. It's like a white, feels like a white blanket is what she's knitting. And she says, I often sit here and I knit and I think and I reflect and I just like to be here and I'm unobserved. And she says the animals know when she's there and she's showing me the deer. So I don't know whether there are deer at Althorp, but that's what I'm being shown, deer in particular. It's as though the animals know when she's there, when she's visiting, when her spirit is visiting that island. And it's as though they flock to the little island. And I'm sure the deers can't swim across, but, you know, it's just they know she's there. There's a knowingness. And she says, I like it best in the morning, the early morning. And I have seen photographs of this myself, of Althorp in the early morning with the mists rising, but that's sort of what I'm feeling as well. And there's something about and also the end of the day as well. It's when there's something to do with the temperature change there. When the temperature changes, maybe it's a sign that she's close by or something. It's like there's a slight chill in the air and you need to wrap yourself in a shawl or something. Or, I don't know, there's something about temperature change. There's something about the movement of the animals. There's something about the stillness of the air there. And the peace that is on that island. And she says, I often just go and I reflect. So what is it that you are reflecting on then? I'm reflecting on my life that I lived, and in particular the life that I lived before I married. And she's showing me, it's like childhood memories, family memories, ancestral memories, but I'm also hearing ancestral ghosts that still roam that land. Ancestral ghosts that still roam that land. Not quite sure what she means by that, but I'm sort of feeling her mother's energy in particular. Didn't her mother leave? Didn't her mother leave? I don't know whether it was from there, but anyway, I feel the mother's energy. Ghosts of the past. But she says, I am uninterrupted here, undisturbed, and I just like to be here. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm feeling. Let me just close the window. There's a sound coming in that's disrupting me of a lawnmower. Hold on. Sorry about that. That's my Virgo coming out, perfectionist. Diana understands. Okay, I'm going to spray the spray, see what else we get. Let's see what else we can get today. So 27 years later. 27 years later, Diana. The dust has settled, she says. The flowers are long gone. She's talking about the flowers that were left after she died. The eyes have dried. She's saying the memories have hardened in some. Things maybe I said or did, not always for good. She wants to own the part of her that was far from perfect, she says. I still carry some guilt with regards to that. And I know she did want to talk about this. So, okay, let's talk about this, Diana. There's something here about, I've said before that she carries a very strong Venus energy, Venusian energy. I believe she has a strong galactic link with Venus. Venus is the planet of love, partnerships, romance. But for a woman to have a very strong Venus energy, it makes you extremely attractive to members of the opposite sex, or the same sex, but, very attractive. And very tempting is what she's saying, very tempting. She says, I didn't master being able to hold the quantity of Venusian energy that I came in with. And I feel as though she wants to offer an apology to the women who she betrayed. She says, sisterhood can only advance when, as sisters, we acknowledge the pain and the suffering and the betrayal that we have made to another sister. And this is linked into infidelities. This is linked into other women's husbands. This is what this is. And she's showing me now, she's gone back to the energy of like shy Di, Lady Di, when she used to sort of look down, and like that. And there's a feeling of shame coming forward, a feeling of shame that I did that to another woman. And she said that part of the story never gets told. She said women of your age, Amanda, who lived through it, there are still some, because I see them, who are unforgiving, for example, of Camilla and what happened with all three of us. She says, but I was not completely innocent in regards to other relationships. And she says, as a sisterhood, we need to acknowledge the times when we have let down another woman, betrayed another woman. And she said, Amanda, I want to say, I am truly sorry. I am truly sorry to the women that I let down. I would like to think that the good that I did outweighed the harm that I did. But what you need to understand is that in every life, there is imperfection. There is something that when you go to meet your maker, you're not proud of. And it's better to come clean and acknowledge it whilst alive, and to be able to say sorry whilst alive. I didn't do that, but I'm doing it now. There's also something coming through here. I don't know how far I can go with this because it feels really personal, but there's something here to do with her actual sisters as well, who she loves. She says they were and they are grounding influences. But there's something to do with not having treated them always right either. Well, Diana, I have never had a sister, but I've got 2 daughters, so I see sisterhood and how it plays out, and I can see that it's not an easy relationship. And she's laughing and saying, no, it's not. But there's something here about treasuring sisters. She says, I don't know whether my sisters knew how much I treasured them. I truly treasured them. And there's an energy here of missing them. There's definitely an energy of missing them. Yeah, really feeling that. But definitely also this energy of just wanting to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And it's not an excuse, but it's to do with, the word I'm hearing is an exuberance of this Venus energy. It's like, and it was, I'm just stepping into me now. It's like, I remember, when she first came on the scene, there was just this something about her appearance that was captivating. You couldn't stop looking at her. And I would imagine, if I was a man, for example, I would have found that very attractive in a different way. And then she's saying it's quite hard to resist as well, the attention you can get. And the attention that I did get. And she said it went to my head. It went to my head. And I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it. Well, I think you should give yourself a break, Diana, because it's 27 years on. And it's an energy of forgiveness coming through. It's almost like she's asking us for forgiveness, but she knows ultimately that she needs to forgive herself. There's this thing about forgiveness when there's something you feel as though you want to be forgiven for, but you're one side of the veil and the people that really need to hear it are here. They're on the other side. And it's about creating a forgiveness bridge is what she's talking about. So for her, not just for her, but maybe for you as well. If there's something that maybe, and it can work both ways, maybe there's something you have done or you've said that you would like forgiveness for, or maybe it's something that somebody did to you that they want your forgiveness for. Can we just build a bit of a bridge with that? And the way we do that is we're just going to imagine a violet lilac bridge at this point. And we're just going to put the word forgiveness between you and them. With the lilac energy, the violet energy, the lavender energy. I realise where this is going now. Lavender. Lavender, lavender, lavender. So when Tracy was making this spray, Queen of Hearts, it's only got 3 essential oils in it, which for us is not many. Often there's more than that. But Diana wanted it simple. And I know she told Tracy lavender, rosemary, vanilla. And I'm sure Tracy won't mind me saying this, but version 1 of this, which she sent to me, had quite a bit more vanilla than the final, this one, the finished article. And Tracy said, I'm not sure whether it needs a bit more lavender or not. What do you think? And unbeknown to her, I'd been on a walk that day, as I often do. And what was interesting on the walk was that at various points, I was just walking past people's gardens, and I kept getting this really strong scent of lavender, overpowering from nowhere. And it's a beautiful smell, isn't it? And more than anything, I was thinking, oh, that's really relaxing me. It's really relaxing me. I love it. But then I realised it was also Diana bringing the lavender energy to relax, yes, to soften, yes. But lavender is also about forgiveness. So I'm just going to read you a little bit. This is from The Fragrant Heavens by Valerie Ann Warwood. And it says, lavender embodies the warm, protective love of Mother Earth. It's caring, cherishing and nurturing, and energetically very active in the auric field closest to the body. incorporating heavenly energies into the physical with great efficiency. When deep sadness covers the spirit like a suffocating blanket, lavender gently lifts the weight. When the inner tears fall, lavender wipes them away. And when depression clouds the psyche, lavender blows it asunder. And for those with worries that trouble the spirit, lavender lifts the veil of despair. It is the mother of essential oils. It will not tolerate bitterness, malice, or jealousy in her mortal brood, but with compassion seeks to bring out the best in us all, letting us know that we are all precious children and we all have our destiny of goodness to fulfill. I think, going back a step with regards to what Diana wanted to bring up with regards to sisterhood and where we might have betrayed another sister, or it's happened to us, there's this energy here of bitterness, malice and jealousy, where if forgiveness is not given or we can't come to peace with an action, that can really be very toxic and seep into our very bones, but also seep into the bones of Mother Earth as well. Mother Earth has got the wound, the sisterhood wound, the feminine wound, which is linked into toxic femininity, misuse of power. And Diana definitely wants to bring that up. And I think it's actually very commendable and brave of her to stick her head above the parapet 27 years later, because she's very aware that some people will be, oh yeah, she was that, you know? And she's saying, I know I was, and I'm claiming it, and I'm acknowledging that that was not my best part of my story. And I'm ashamed about that. But she's saying, I was also human. You know, there's this thing about being human. And if we are human, we're going to mess up. We're going to be flawed. We're going to do something at some point in our life which we look back on and think, wish I hadn't done that, wish I hadn't said that. So this is all coming up on the 27th anniversary. And of course, 27, 2 and 7 make 9. 9 is a completion. It's a new beginning. It's a cycle that wants to end for a new one to come in. So any seeds of bitterness linked into sisterhood need to be given up to Creator, Source, Diana herself, to heal. And there's a helicopter just coming in, as I said, give them up. Let me just have some tea, hold on. Listen to the plane coming in to take away the cares and the worries and the whatever has happened. I told you the planes would come in at appropriate moments. Maybe you can't hear it, but it's a plane coming in. Okay. I'm going to pull a card at this point, and I want to go to the Avalonian energy, this King, Knights of the Round Table type energy. So I'm going to pull a card from Art Through the Eyes of the Soul Oracle, and I might also pull one from the Arthurian Tarot, and then we'll just see what we want to ask Diana about. Must be able to hear that. Okay. Something coming into land as well, I'm hearing. Something coming into land. A new template. A new template coming into land. And yeah, okay. Right. This one says, arise from the ashes of despair. This one says, a new door is opening. Step over the threshold. So these are the energies that I've very much got with her today, that it's time to let go of the despair, the lack of hopelessness, the shame, the guilt, whatever has happened, because this wants to come in, this new doorway. Look at all that beautiful pink and violet light wanting to flood into earth. And this also feels very linked into the divine feminine energy as well. But it's going to arrive better when we've let go of the misery of the past. There's a dustbin van coming down now, refuse lorry. Okay, let's let it go. The ashes. Let's let the ashes go. Visualize healing. Okay, I think I'd like to do the meditation in a moment, but I want to also just pull a couple of cards from the Arthurian Tarot. Let's see what message Diana has for us using these cards as well. I'm going to pull the cards and then she will chip in and help me interpret them. Let me just see I've got them all the right way around. Yes. This is the Arthurian Tarot deck that I'm using. So, the first one that wants to come out is Stone 10. Stone 10. Look at that in a moment. What goes with Stone 10, please, Diana? No, she says read it first. We've got the Wounded King as well on the bottom of the deck. Stone 10 means... What does it mean? It means it's about tradition, wealth, ancestry, inheritance, property, establishment and permanence, the treasures of tradition and ancestral lore. So I guess this is linked into Ten of Pentacles maybe. Probably would be, wouldn't it? But on this deck, it's depicted thus. We've got the Wounded King. I feel this is Charles, to be honest. I've always felt with Diana this great love for Charles. I've said it in many channelings with her before. Let's just ask her a little bit about Charles at this time. Is there anything you would like to say about Charles at this time? I'm hearing the word tethered. Tethered to the past. Tethered to tradition. Tethered to tradition. I can't say it. Can you hear me? Tethered to tradition. Interestingly, I can't say it. Tethered to tradition. Tethered to the past. Wanting desperately to break free. She's showing me his silver cord linking him to Earth, Mother Earth. And there's a pulling on it. There's a pulling on it, wanting to be free. He's never been free, is what she's saying. He's never had a moment of real, true freedom. He's grasped it in the grassy hills and the heathland and the places that he loves to walk and be. But there's a yearning within his soul for complete freedom, breaking free from the binds of the earth. Doesn't mean he's going to do anything, obviously, to that end, but there's a yearning of his soul to be free of the confines of his body. Okay. I feel like she watches over him. Very much so. Stone Hallow we've got. Let me look up what Stone Hallow means, guys. Hold on. Stone Hallow is what number? I don't know. Let me pause the camera. Found it. Stone Hallow. So it says, in the earth of an underground cavern, the board glows with power. The board was one of the prime treasures of the island of Britain. Whoever possessed it or played upon it was likewise part of the archetypal movements within the land itself. It's about wisdom, spiritual treasure, consolidation and establishment, attainment, fulfillment, prosperity, and the faculty of sensation or instinct, mother wit. It goes beside the Wounded King. It feels as though the board is empty at the moment for whatever reason. Let me have one more card that follows it, please, Diana. What are you trying to say to us here? awaiting the next move. We've got the Stone Queen and we've got Arthur. Stone Queen and Arthur. Stone Queen to me would be Kate, and Arthur, I've already said in previous channelings, is William. The board is waiting for Arthur and the Stone Queen. Yeah. Wow. Okay, let's go back to what she wants to say about that. Cards can only take you so far, so I'm going to go direct back to what she wants to say about this situation with regards to the monarchy, the future of the monarchy under William. So I'm hearing, as is prophesied, I'm seeing a large moon, rising moon. Could it be linked into an eclipse energy? Maybe. And I'm hearing The Long and Winding Road by the Beatles. I'm being taken to Mont Saint-Michel in France. I'm being shown the activation of the Michael lines in the UK. Archangel Michael ley lines. The powering up of the grid. When the new game commences. So it feels as though there's a leaving of the old energy and an arrival of the new, linked into the return of this Arthurian energy. But it's linked into the powering up of the Michael lines, the ley lines. So I'm being taken to France. I'm being taken to Mont Saint-Michel in France. Maybe it's just because that is, I think it's on the same ley line as St Michael's Mount in Cornwall from memory. So maybe she's just showing me the lines, and I'm now being shown them leading up to Windsor as well. And now up to Holyrood in Edinburgh. And now she's taking me to the seat of Parliament in Northern Ireland. Not forgetting Wales, she's saying, I was the Princess of Wales. Channel Islands. I don't know, just feels like this, excuse me, this energy. Oh, okay, it's, right, I can't remember when this happened. The beacons being lit. The beacons being lit. Now, when were the beacons lit? Wasn't that something to do with the Olympic Games? I'm talking about the beacons being lit around the UK. Beacons being lit. Maybe it's when a new king comes onto the throne at some point. Maybe it's just to do with the energy travelling. The energy, it's this Avalonian Camelot type energy now travelling overseas to America. Where's Newfoundland? Is that Canada? I don't know. I'm hearing Newfoundland. But there's something about newfound land, as in actually it's land that is going to be new and is found as well. New land rising. Islands rising. Power rising. It's a new power. It's new power coming in that is lighting up the world. The death throes of the old, the emergence of the new. I'm now being shown lighthouses, lighthouses lighting up. She's now showing me boats at sea with the lights lighting up. There's a lighting up of the planet. It's not quite yet, but it's coming. There's a new energy about to arrive. Thank God for that. Okay, thank you, Diana. I really feel that very strongly. Okay, I'm in this nice mellow energy now, so I want to take you now into this meditation and visualization with her. And let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to use the spray, Queen of Hearts. I'd like you to get comfortable. Be somewhere where you're going to be undisturbed. You might go to sleep. That's fine if you go to sleep. You'll still be receiving the healing, the codes, the frequencies that you need. So don't be driving whilst listening to this bit, please. Okay. Spray the spray. Queen of Hearts, England's Rose. Diana. Take my hand, she says. Take my hand. Let us go into the gardens together. So I want you to find yourself on a gravel path. There is a large building to the left of you. It's like a castle. There is a lake around it as well, or certainly within its ground. I can see water, can sense water. But for whatever reason, there is a gravel path beside this beautiful building, and it has an archway at the start of the path of roses. And Diana is waiting there on a wooden bench for you and me and us. So you arrive, feel your feet on this gravel. You can feel the breeze in the air. It's warm. You're safe. You're comfortable. You can smell the scent of the roses above you. You can hear the birdsong. You can hear the sound of your feet on the gravel. You take her hand, which she offers to you, and she has fine, delicate, feminine hands. Your hand goes into hers, and you start to walk along this gravel path together. She's warm and friendly and chatty, and she has a beautiful scent to her as well. She's tall, fair, modestly dressed, interested in you, how you are, what's going on in your life. And you walk together. And as you walk down this gravel path, you become aware of the sunlight upon it. You become aware of the hedgerows around it. You become aware of the insects and bees that do you no harm. You become aware with all your senses of the beauty of the place. You arrive at the entrance to a walled garden. It is midsummer in England, and the clock strikes 2. And you walk into the walled garden with her, and she wants to show you the beauty of this place, the peace of this place. There are apple trees, there are more roses, there are herbs, many plants, established foliage, more fruit trees, hedges, paths leading to more paths. She says, go and explore. I will meet you in the centre of the garden in an hour. There is a bench in the centre of the garden. All paths lead to it. Take your time. Go and see and smell and touch the plants that call you. They are your medicine for your soul. They are here for you to heal. Spend as much time as you need in this place. You feel the peace descend. You feel the stillness and the grace that is here. And you meander. You give yourself permission to meander and reflect and be. Nothing to do until the appointed hour where you will meet her again. Diana has ventured off to the left, gone on a path to her own healing, in the same way that you are on a pathway now, receiving what you need. So is she. Knowing that you will meet her again soon, you just enjoy the moment. The sun on your back. You see water features. You see beautiful statues. You see a gardener tending to the plants and the flowers. He smiles at you, and you smile back. You bring to this space anything it is that is troubling you, anything that you wish to ask for healing for, anything that's causing you sleepless nights, lack of peace of mind. You know that in this place you are heard, acknowledged, held. Nothing is too trivial or too big to bring to this place of healing. Every step that you take is healing. Every breath that you take is healing. Every scent that you smell is healing. Every colour of every bloom is healing. There is nothing that can harm you here. There is only love. You are in God's garden, in God's grace. Welcomed, acknowledged, loved, deeply loved. The clock strikes the half hour, and you realise half of the hour has already gone. You decide to look at some of the statues that are within this garden. See which statue calls to you. What is it of? Who does it depict? Stand before it and receive its message, its energy. Feel the presence that it emits from its stone, its granite. Is it old? Is it new? What is the statue that is before you? It might represent a historical figure. It may not. See which statue you feel that you're standing in front of now. Receive the message and then move on. The next thing that you are called to do in this garden is to approach one of the trees. There are many trees here of all shapes and sizes, but there's one that's calling, that has particular healing medicine for you. Note the tree that calls your name and approach it with respect, knowing that this is a master healer. You may wish to touch its trunk, hug it, stand beside it, sit underneath it, pick its fallen fruit, or a leaf, or a twig. But however you experience it, know that this tree also has a message for you. And you receive it now. The wisdom of the tree, the healing of the tree, the love of the tree. You walk further on, not wanting to miss the appointed hour to be with Diana again. And you come across an animal that is in your pathway. No threat to you. There to guide you, inform you, represent something that maybe you need to receive, to be like. An animal messenger. See which animal is in your path. Acknowledge it, thank it. This animal represents a part of you. And then as you move on once more, there is one particular flower, one particular colour, one particular scent that once more is calling your name. And you go towards it. You smell it. You touch it. Or you just look at it. But again, the wisdom of the flower, the healing of the flower, is for you and you alone. You take its energy into your heart and you thank it. You move on a little bit more and you come towards the centre of the garden. You don't even know how you found the centre of the garden, but you're in the centre of the garden. Your feet found the way. Your higher self found the way. And Diana is waiting for you on a stone bench. There is a water fountain nearby. It's peaceful. She looks rested. She's received healing herself, blessings herself. And she says, come and sit with me and receive a blessing too. Blessings from Creator, blessings from Spirit, blessings from nature, blessings from all who love you. come and sit and be with me a while in this beautiful space together. And you open up your heart and you receive all that is there for you. And you thank her. And you open your eyes and you look into her blue eyes and you see her love, her acknowledgement of you. She reminds you how special you are, how much you are needed, how much you have to offer, to go boldly into life, to not be afraid, to live your best life, to know that this is a beautiful planet, a beautiful place, and that you are loved. And at that, you get up together and you walk back down the gravel path to the place where you began. Diana bids you farewell, but you know that she is always available to bring your troubles to come back to this garden. It's always accessible. It's always here. However many years down the line it is always here. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Move your feet. Come back to this space, this time, this moment. As the plane circles overhead, bringing us back to present day. Okay. So, I hope you enjoyed that time with Diana. 27 years on, she is always here for us. And we will always remember her, won't we? We'll always remember her. But equally, it's a beautiful thing to know that we can be with her in spirit whenever we need to be. Whenever you want to be, you can just call her. Call my name, she's saying. Didn't Diana Ross do a song like that? Call my name. I'm hearing a song by Diana Ross. Call my name, I think it was. Let's see what the lyrics are to that. So, I might just end this by pulling one final card for you, but I want to see what the lyrics are to Diana Ross. She's giving me that song. I'll be there, that's it. Diana Ross. I'll be there. What are the lyrics to that? Reach out, I'll be there. That's what I'm hearing her say. If you feel that you can't go on because all your hope is gone and your life is filled with confusion and happiness is just an illusion and your world around is tumbling down, darling, reach out, reach out. I'll give you all the love you need. I'll be there. You can always depend on me. I can tell the way you hang your head, you're without love. Now you're afraid, and through your tears you look around, and there's no peace of mind to be found. I know what you're thinking, you're alone now, no love of your own. Darling, reach out, reach out. Yeah, absolutely. She is saying, reach out, and she will be there. How beautiful. Okay, let's end with a card. I don't know whether I acknowledge these beautiful flowers, but I bought these for Diana. Aren't they gorgeous? They sort of, to me, sum up that English country garden feel that I wanted to create with this video. Absolutely lovely. It's interesting as well because I went to a florist, obviously, to buy these, and they're quite a nice bunch of flowers, aren't they? So they weren't cheap, to be honest. And she said, are you buying these for a special occasion? Is it somebody's birthday? And I said, well, I thought, no, just own what you do. So I said to her, actually, I'm a medium and I do channeling. And tomorrow is Princess Diana's 27th year of anniversary. So I'm buying them for her. And lots of people will see these beautiful flowers. And she said, She said, how amazing. She said, how wonderful. She didn't poo-poo it or anything. You know, it's just like, as though I'd said, well, I'm just needing them to take to a friend's for her birthday. So, and yes, she was a much younger girl than me, but she said, yeah, 27 years. 27 years. Okay, let's have a final card then, Diana, from this deck. Art Through the Eyes of the Soul Oracle. Hope you've enjoyed this time with me and Diana. Let's see what she has to say. Final card then. We've got adapt to a new situation. And then on the bottom of the deck, we've also got start anew and begin again. So definitely feels as though there's big changes coming in for our world and for us. You know, if we go back to what I was talking about at the start of this video, what she was bringing forward, it was this, you know, knowing that times are difficult right now, but to come together in unity and love with each other, that we will adapt to whatever is arising. But I loved the fact that I was shown that those beacons of light, and they feel as though they're going to be going off all over the world. And of course, the beacons of light, she's saying, represent you. You are the beacon of light, and you underestimate your own ability to be able to make substantive change and bring the joy and the light that this world so desperately needs. So well done. Lots of love, everybody. Take care. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. Bye-bye for now, and I'll put the link to the spray below, okay? Queen of Hearts, England's Rose, Memories and Remembrance. And just wanting to thank Diana as well for being here. And let's just see how she wants to leave or close this out. Another thing she keeps showing me, actually, so I know I'm going off again, but I keep being shown the image of her at Versace's funeral, which was shortly before she died, wasn't she? Wasn't he died, but she was there. And I'm also feeling Elton John as well. I always feel Elton with Diana. So maybe that's just a nod to Elton, who I think was there at that funeral, as was George Michael. I'm seeing them all come in now. So it's like she's got her little band up there of brothers, and but there's something about this, again, the sisterhood thing. She wants you to remember what she said about sisterhood, to heal the wounds of sisterhood, and to not be embarrassed or ashamed, because if you keep carrying wounds of things that you may have done in the past, they become really toxic. It's time to let go, realise none of us are perfect, but try our best to be there for each other as women and citizens of this world. And she's now taking me to Afghanistan as well, and I'm being shown the oppression of women there and young girls, and wanting us to send our light there, please. Okay. Thanks very much, everybody. I am going to leave it there. Otherwise, I'll never get this video up in time for her anniversary. Okay. We love you, Diana. Thanks very much. Bye-bye for now. Bye.